One of those trips was to the Holocaust Museum. In our class, we also had a woman who grew up until her mid-20s in Kiel, Germany. For anyone unfamiliar, the Holocaust Museum in Washington, D.C. is laid out in a way that requires you to ascend through several stories, crossing a glass-windowed walking bridge to do so. The panes have names of villages, towns, and cities where atrocities occurred etched into them, with the size of the names corresponding to the number of people who died. I was a bit late catching up with the group on one level and came upon my friend from Germany standing in front of a large keel on one window. I asked if she was okay, and she shook her head no while brushing away tears. I inquired if she wanted a hug, and we embraced on the bridge, both with watery eyes for a while. On a brighter note, witnessing fox kids romp and play while their mother watched over them, as the late spring sun rose in the background over the Wind River Range, was delightful. I have a lovely photo I took of that fox family on my desk beside me as I type this, again with tears welling up because of the first two stories. Story 29. I should have specified happy tears because many comments are discussing the Holocaust, 9/11, and war memorials. Not that I have a problem with it, obviously. Story 30. I do not know how to explain it, but seeing Katmai National Park in Alaska at sunset felt nearly spiritual from my experience. I am not religious in any sense, but it felt spiritual in that moment. Story 31. I used to be a field supervisor for E.N.J. Gallo, overseeing the transportation of grapes to the winery from the field. The work is usually at night, so the grapes won't spoil as quickly in the heat of the day. I was sent to a field in a remote area, somewhere between Taft and Bakersfield, which is not what you think of as pretty country. I arrived after dark and parked in the company truck on a raised dirt road while an industrial picking operation was taking place, likely for Thompson's white grape juice. The field they were picking was on the east side of the road. As the sun came up and I looked to the west, I saw easily 30 to 40 acres of roses in full bloom, with a different color every 10 feet. It was one of the most pleasant and truly unexpected surprises of my life. Story 32. Walking through old towns at night, especially those with deep history, can feel like stepping into another time. Places like Venice or Kyoto have an atmosphere that draws you in. Story 33. Ancient cedar old growth near Whistler, British Columbia. Standing beside those trees truly changed my perspective. Being so dwarfed by nature is breathtaking. Story 34. What is a location-based immersive experience? Are we all just accepting this kind of marketing language in everyday conversation now? Let's use real words. Story 35. In 2024, a total eclipse lasted about 3.5 minutes at my location. It was amazing, strange, eerie, and unexpectedly very emotional all at the same time. Story 36. The memorial to the murdered Jews of Europe in Berlin is truly stirring as you walk through the concrete slabs. Thanks a bunch for sticking around till the end of the video. Remember to subscribe, and until next time, stay awesome and goodbye. Story 1. Punish him for destroying an entire planet full of pet dinosaurs just to start over with talking monkeys with emotional issues. Who does that? Story 2. As an atheist, this would still be a step up from how I view the deity of the Abrahamic religions and most pagan deities. This is a step in the right direction. The biggest surprise would be that there is anything at all after I died. Story 3. Rewatch all Monty Python movies and specials to seek truth. Maybe he was a very naughty boy after all. Story 4. Take him to Chuck E. Cheese and get him $10 worth of tokens. Then hand him my itemized list of requests while holding a large bag filled with tokens. Story 5. Bring the child in and give him actual toys to play with. Call my fellow friends to come up with a binding power spell. Story 6. Turn the tables and create a philosophy based on how we should be good examples of what kind people are to teach others how to be a good person. Story 7. Preferable to an old man who, despite being obviously powerful, allows all the bad things to happen because he is evil. Story 8. Oh, so Gnosticism. Well, I guess I appreciate not being reborn and the freedom to engage in this very conversation. May I go now? Story 9. Become as gods. Story 10. To be honest, I will not say God is like that, but it would not be the most surprising thing. Children are seen as the most innocent people on earth and very pure. Story 11. Does it matter? It's still God. And I have been expressing my frustration throughout my life. I don't think I have any reactions that could help. Story 12. So the Alleluias were right. I can't believe that kind of people were actually right. For goodness sake. Story 13. That would be strange. We would be living in a different world, so it's hard to imagine. Perhaps I would wonder why he didn't play with us more. Story 14. I devour the infant. The succulent meat endows me with power. I then announce to the world that I am the God Emperor of mankind and begin an intergalactic crusade. Story 15. Holy cow. Douglas Adams was kind of right after all. This makes perfect sense for those of you who have read The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy trilogy. If you have not, we apologize for the inconvenience. Story 16. Even so, she is just one of the gods among the multitude of deities. Even if she is the one responsible, who cares why existence chose to be as long as it is? Now that it is, I exist, you exist, and we can do many fun and great things. The world is beautiful. Story 17. Gamify it so he earns points for improving our lives. Make it engaging with all the features that captivate users in online gaming. Story 18. Hey buddy, if you let me play with your toys for a few minutes, we can go play catch. Story 19. I would ask it to end my eternal soul, so I don't have to suffer what its idea of heaven would be for the rest of eternity. There is nothing to fear about non-existence. Story 20. Actual me. Does that, if I don't laugh, I'm gonna cry, type laugh for a very long time. Possibly evil me. Rolls up sleeves. Alright, time to mold God's little mind. Starting with how to take care of your toys. Story 21. Called it. There's no way a deity focused on love created cancer and meteor strikes, then hid itself to cause mass confusion. It is far more likely that a deity made a real-life version of The Sims to mess with us. I can only hope this deity doesn't play their version of The Sims the way I played mine. Story 22. I have seen others mention that it is a plot from various shows. I have also seen it in the anime Ragna Crimson. A race of dragons who were living quietly while pretending to be human decides to exterminate humanity. The monarch of that group of dragons has a direct link to the dragon god, who sometimes communicates with them. It turns out that the dragon god is a child who became upset because their favorite bakery was shut down. They do not care about the loss of life for either dragons or humans. Story 23. Plot of the manga, Omi J Sekai wa Kawashitai Nara. However, the execution was poorly done. The main character recognizes that the focus of this post-topic is essentially defeated and unhinged. Story 24. I will make peace with the thought that he did not intend anything and was just watching me the whole time. Story 25. Realize they must not be viewed as God, as a child denotes a parent. Take a deep breath and play with him. Story 26. That's like a poem from Fernando Pessoa, a famous Portuguese poet. It's called Poem of the Baby Jesus. This is the beginning of the poem. Poem of the Baby Jesus. At noon at the end of spring, I had a dream like a photograph. I saw Jesus Christ come down to earth. He came down the hill as a child, running and rolling in the grass,